Good evening to you. Our top stories tonight. Sporting activities may resume as from Wednesday, the 8th of September, now that the Ministry of Health has revised certain COVID-19 measures. However, spectators are not allowed at training and matches. All activities are to be done under strict SOPs. Casinos and bars may open till 10 p.m., and religious sacraments and rites may also be held under approved SOPs. Meetings of less than 30 persons may be held under the venue's SOP, and meetings of more than 30 persons need approval from the Public Health Authority. Certain measures that will remain in force, such as the closure of shops at 7 p.m., no mixing of household, no mass gatherings indoors and outdoors, including mass sports, fun days and fancy fairs. Not more than 25 people should attend funerals. Discotheques are to remain closed, and the wearing of face masks remains compulsory as per regulations, and the restriction of movement stays from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. The Ministry of Health has said, meanwhile, that community transmission of COVID-19 persists and all districts continue to report cases. The 7-day moving average remains around 50. 3 COVID-19 related deaths, which happened in September, are being reported, bringing the total number of deaths to 108. There are currently 451 active cases, with 438 on Mahé, 7 on Pralin, 5 on La Digue, and 1 on another island. The government has joined in legal moves to help Seychelles stave off an attempt by its creditors to get the airline wound up. It's lodged a petition in the Supreme Court to halt the bondholders' petition to recover their investment. The bondholders claim the loss-making business owes them $76 million. That's in addition to $11 million that Air Seychelles has agreed to pay former shareholder Etihad. The case will return to court later this month.
Our interest is clear because we are a 99% shareholder of Air Seychelles, and so we have a direct interest and we have rights in this case. And so we're showing our support to the airline in the sense that we, as the Ministry of Transport, would like to be a participant to this process. As well, you have Mr. Bernard Georges representing Air Seychelles directly, who also has filed an affidavit. So for the time being, there's no disruption. In fact, we don't expect there to be any for Air Seychelles. This is something we expected to happen, and it's part of the normal legal process for when this happens.
The legal team representing the bondholders is now awaiting the court's decision on affidavits provided by Air Seychelles and the government.
At this point, it is in the hands of the court. As the government of Seychelles wants to intervene as well, we'll wait for what the response is from the court when we give our response. But as the case will go on, more things will come into play as the counsel for Air Seychelles is given time as well to make an affidavit in response, which will be an opposition to our application. So in view of that, we'll wait for what they have to respond to in relation to our application.
The case of the mother suspected of dumping her dead baby in a dustbin has been back in court. The Attorney General asked for more time before charges are brought against the 27-year-old woman. The mother from Belom district, who has 2 other older children, has been in police custody since July. The body of her dead newborn was recovered from bins at Bobel days before her arrest. The woman will appear in court again on September the 17th. There will be more educational exchanges between public schools and private schools. Education Minister Justin Valentin made the statement during his visit to l'École Française. Minister Valentin was accompanied by a delegation of senior officials from his ministry. On completion of his visit, He had a meeting with the French ambassador, Dominique Massa, the director of the French school, Christophe Consigny, and members of the school's administration. The director of the school, Mr. Consigny, expressed his appreciation at the minister's visit and says the school will give its best to ensure and deliver quality education to its students. École Française caters for students aged 3 years to 17 years. The school has a total of 315 students. As of January 2022, the burial services will be removed from the Agency for Social Protection, ASP, and will be under the responsibility of the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. This is because this ministry already has all the infrastructure and human resources that take care of cemeteries in the various districts. The decision was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers in their meeting last week. The CEO of ASP, Brenda Morin, says that according to its mandate, ASP should manage the social assistance and the responsibility of burial services. It has been difficult for the agency to concentrate on its more important mandate. Another decision approved by the Cabinet of Ministers last week was that of the 1st of October this year, no new graves will be dug in cemeteries that are considered as full.
The cemeteries that are considered full currently are Glacis, Montfleury, Cascade, Takamaka, Ansboilo. On Pralin is Nouvelle Découverte and Bessentan-Pralin. Now, for reopening of graves, this can take place every other 6 years. So the government now is encouraging individuals to identify family members that have passed away, and so that to use these graves that have passed the 6 years period for reopening under the Health Act regulation, and also cremation. Also, the urns can be buried in the cemetery as before. Okay. So the government is encouraging the cremation and grave reopenings as the way forward of burial in Seychelles. Burial at sea and at home is also in the Act. It is part of the law, so it is an option, but with permission of health regulation.
That's SBC News at 7. See you again at 8.